Hi, I'm Debbie Novick, and I wanted to talk to you today about something very near and dear to my heart. I hope you'll comment below and subscribe and follow me if you like what you hear. I also have other video shorts that talk about this topic, which is going to be Prepare and Protect Family First. This is a book that I've written, and it goes into depth on some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about today. I think it's really important with all of the natural disasters that go on around the world, around our country, that we all get prepared. Preparation would start with a family meeting. Sit down with your family. Talk about the disasters that have happened, that could happen in your area. Every area is different. I live in Southern California, so some of the things that happen here are earthquakes, could be floods, could be fires. Other places around the country are hurricanes and tornadoes. I think you need to sit down as a family and talk about not only the impact, but what they actually are, so that the children and your grandparents, everybody knows what these things are and what to expect. So they make videos and documentaries and things that explain natural disasters, and sometimes it's really important. Even though they may be a little scary, knowledge will make you feel a little less traumatized if something happens. They have games and toys for kids that teach them about these things. But if you sit down as a family and just talk about the potential dangers and tell the family that you're going to develop a plan so that everyone is comfortable with what needs to be done and how they need to approach these things should they happen. Children, pets, grandparents, everybody needs to be taken into consideration when you're doing this. One of the first things you can do is develop a contact list. You should have a list of your child's school information and your local emergency facility information, local hospital, the doctor. You can call your city hall and they can give you certain information on applications you can put on your phone that will alert you to different disasters. You also should have an out-of-town contact. Should the phones in your area be so jammed up, it may be easier to reach through a network of an out-of-town person, member of the family, friend, and all of these phone numbers should be in a pack for every single member of your family. So each one should have his own go bag. Go bag preparation is the next topic. Aside from the contact list, there should also be some comfort things. Like for a child, there might be a toy or a stuffed animal. Everybody should also have a photo of the family. This is good for comfort, because we are comforted if we're separated to see our family. Also, it's good to help identify if your child gets separated from you so that you can be reunited with your child. If your child has a photo of the family, that's a lot easier. Go bags should have blankets. They make actually blankets that are compact that will do the job of keeping you warm. Everyone should have a warm sweater and change of clothes, any medications that are needed. You should have a bag or in your bag something for your pets, whether that's a pet toy, cleanup bags, a scooper when they have to go to the bathroom. For kids, for babies, you need diapers and formula. There are so many things, but you can make those lists and put together an efficient go bag. Food is another thing. I would go with protein bars, which are very nutritious. Try to cut the sugar as much as you can, but having protein bars can keep you going for days on end. Canned foods in a can opener. I would make sure my bag had a flashlight with batteries. I wouldn't worry about, I would have matches, and I would put the matches in a plastic bag. I would also put any photos or documents in a plastic bag, just in case there's any weather conditions like rain to worry about, because you never know. Keeping your items safe that shouldn't be wet is really important. Otherwise, they're really useless to you. My husband, recently during the California fires, my husband and I had no power for 3 days, but we had a battery-operated radio, and we were able to get all of the news. We actually have a solar generator, so we were able to plug in. I could make coffee, I could make toast, I could plug in my refrigerator. All you have to do is have the solar panels to recharge. If you do have a solar generator, though, because outages are far and few between, just remember, every 6 months or so, you can plug it into your wall and get that full charge. But if you let it go for years, that charge will dissipate. So it's really important that you keep it charged so that you'll have it when you need it. I had power banks, so I was able to keep my phone charged. I've even since then bought solar power banks, one for each of our cars, so that in case of an emergency, we just leave them in the back window so that they're constantly charged by the sun, and we will be able to charge our phones when we need it. There's a lot of things that you can do to help yourself be prepared, to make your life not so scary should something happen. I would get a fire file. I actually recently bought a soft-sided fire file, which will keep documents protected from fire up to a very high temperature. And I would put your mortgage papers, your insurance papers, any important documents that you need to have, your contact list, any photos. I know photos are the one thing that most people feel the biggest loss for if you lose them in a fire or a flood or something like that. So maybe it's time now to make sure they're in a plastic container and your most valued ones are in a plastic bag in your fire file so that you could just grab the bag and go. Another thing, as a family, you do evacuation planning. So depending on the emergency that you have in your area, like we have earthquakes, fires, sometimes could be floods and mudslides, but you take those into consideration. So my evacuation planning, if I was involved in a fire, I would definitely not be leaving and heading towards a forest. You need to look at your neighborhood, look at the area. If there's flooding, you want to go to higher ground. So you need to know a plan or make a plan for whatever the disasters are in your area. Only you know that, but you can also contact someone in your local village and they can help you. They have community resources that you can access. Preparing your home. Okay, if you are prone for hurricanes, you need to be ready to board up your windows. There are all kinds of things. If you have fires, you should keep at least 30 feet around the side of your house, free of debris and things that can catch on fire. A suggestion to put a mesh screen over your vents of your house if you're prone to fires, because that will help prevent embers from actually getting into your house. There are so many things you can do. You can water down your roof if fires are in your area. That's why it's good to have a charged hose ready to go. First aid is really important. Bandages, triple antibiotic cream. The basics are really important because, especially when we're rushing, you can scrape yourself, scratch yourself, and without treating it properly, you can get infected. And then if there's no way to get to a hospital or a doctor, then you have a problem. So, like I said, try my book. It's got all kinds of tips. There are other books as well, but this helps focus on the psychology as well, because I think if your family is less traumatized, you will recover as a family together better. And I think it's really easy to take the time, do the drills, put your bags together, just extra stuff. It can even be clothes that you were maybe going to donate that you don't really like anymore, that just sit in a bag on the side, because if push comes to shove, having something is better than having nothing. Also, canned goods, can opener, all of those things. If you have a bag ready to go, you are less likely to be completely stressed out when something happens, because you know if you have to leave in an emergency quickly, you can just grab it and go. Sometimes our lives depend on it. It would also be good to put a go bag, just a basic kit, in your car, in each vehicle for your family. If you have 2 or 3 cars, one should be in each of them, because you never know if you're going to have to take off in one or the other, or if something happens during the day and you're in your car, your husband's in his car, your son is in his car. You just don't know. So all the planning that you do now can help not only save your life, but keep you from being traumatized. I wish you all the best, and I hope any disaster that comes your way, you can weather the storm with your family and survive. Because that's what this is about, survival. God bless you. If you like what you see, subscribe, comment. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.